Word on the street is Shark Tale on the PS2 is an absurdly difficult, unfair game, and beating it will do a number on my patience and happiness. So of course I set out on a mission to beat the Shark Tale game no matter what it takes. Here's how it went.
It's going to be a bumpy ride!
The game bursts out of the gates with an intense shark chase. I imagine for many children whose first ever video game was Shark Tale, it would have been pretty terrifying.
Oh God!
Thankfully, I'm an adult, so it wasn't too scary, and this posed no problems. Eventually, Oscar gets woken up by his landlord, and it turns out it was just a bad dream. Now we have to swim circles around Oscar's stuff as it's being thrown out of the apartment windows. As far as swimming controls go in games, these ones are fine. They're definitely not the most precise, and nowhere near as satisfying as most games on land controls, but I guess that's to be expected. It could be worse. After this, Crazy Joe has an epiphany.
I just realized stuff happens when I press the action button near them bubbly exclamation marks.
If you fear that he'll be here throughout the entire game constantly screaming shit, well, I can confirm your fears because he does not go away and he does not shut up. Some kids have been tagging up the neighborhood and, hold on, yep, that's better. So for some reason, all of the kids are graffitiing Oscar hate and we gotta swim around the city to find them, stop them, and get rid of their graffiti. Next, we get the most obvious thing, a rhythm dancing section. Not just that, but a rhythm dancing section with absolutely horrific animations. Not that you really see any of these animations while it's going down, because it becomes so cluttered with upcoming arrows, forcing you to just hyper-focus on this one chunk of the screen. While I didn't struggle to beat it, it goes for way too long. It plays through the entire song for over 4 minutes.
I haven't got time for this. Can't touch this. Bullshit.
Next, we're taxi racing Sykes to the whale wash. Crazy Joe shouts at us about pressing L1 and R1, but fails to mention any of the other controls, leading to a pretty rough start. But thankfully, I was able to recover, and the race is way too long, giving me the time I needed to catch up and win. Now, because we're late to work, we have to sneak through the whale wash to punch in without being seen, introducing the game's stealth mechanics, which are pretty pathetic. The way the stealth works here is if you get seen, you've got a few seconds to interact with one of these exclamation marks to duck for cover, and no matter what, even if they watch you from a meter away while you do it, that will return you to being fully undetected and no one suspects a thing. So the way you play is you just don't even bother trying to avoid being seen, you just dash through the environment and stop every few seconds at one of these, and before you know it, the level's over. We get another overly long dance section, followed by this bit where we swim through the whale wash. I'll use now to express that this game has the most aggravating death animations ever burned to disc, and every time I had to watch one, I felt physically ill. We do more of this, more stealth gameplay, none of it's too noteworthy until we reach what I consider this game's first challenge. The duel against this guy. It only has 2 simple mechanics: dodge when the eel attacks, and punch it in the face when you get the chance. There is zero consistency around when our punches will land. When the eel is close enough to hit, or when it will dodge to the side, or when the game will just choose not to register a hit, it's all so up in the air. Just spam the punch button, and when the game chooses for a punch to connect, or when the game chooses to enter this mode where you do the bulk of your damage, consider yourself lucky.
Are you feeling lucky, punk?
We do another taxi race, not much to note here other than I can feel the game starting to ramp up the difficulty overall. We really do need to stay as tight to the bubble trail as possible to win the race. There's this strange part where we're being held hostage by the jellyfish and have to avoid their stingers by leaning in the opposite direction. With the camera rotating from a low angle and the jelly circling, it's a bit of a task trying to keep track of which direction to hold the stick to avoid the stinging tentacles. But with practically 0 health, I managed to outlast the final few seconds and survive the whole ordeal.
I'm a survivor. We're a dying breed.
For the second half of the game, not only do the dancing sections increase the speed, but they introduce having to press multiple buttons at once together, in quick succession. Like, look at this. Now, I didn't have too many issues beating this myself, but I've been playing music pretty consistently for almost 20 years, and I was a music kid through all of school, so I like to think I have a pretty decent advantage. But I think there would be a lot of kids out there who didn't play music who simply couldn't get further in the game because these rhythm levels are so demanding. Like, what are you supposed to do as a kid when you reach this and simply aren't capable? Are you supposed to go take music lessons so you can build the coordination and rhythm required so you can progress in the Shark Tale PS2 game?
Oh, this is all confusing. Why do I have to keep learning new things?
We fight a hammerhead shark, and then we reach the part of the game that almost prompted me to give up. Sneaking Lenny through the city. We're dealing with the same stealth mechanics of having to find cover every few seconds, but a new thing to deal with is added, the paparazzi camera. If we go inside this zone when all the red dots are lit up, the paparazzi takes a photo of Oscar, we're caught, and have to restart. This is the most annoying thing ever, not only because it often feels unfair when you get caught, but because every single time you fail, the game has to show this newspaper slowly turning, still turning, it's still getting there, it's getting there, and then you spawn and you move a little bit to go over here so it can show you this animation of Oscar calling Lenny over. And now we can try again.
Just my luck.
After this, there's a bit where now we have to go around and wake up all of the paparazzi photographers because now Oscar wants photos taken of him. I don't even know what's happening anymore. This takes way longer than it should because Oscar's imprecise dash control and the game's inability to register when you hit the other fish. There we go. There's the fight against Lenny. We retread the same gameplay ground again, doing more dance sections that at this point really are egregious filler content. And then we reach the final part of the game, swimming away from big scary shark jaws. I lost on this section a lot of times because when you go into this tunnel, you have to smash your way through these gates and it slows you down. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe the game makes it at all clear enough that what you're supposed to do here is hit these side walls to unlock the doors and swim through them without slowing down. This may just be a problem with my head, but it took many attempts to figure this out. To cap it all off, we have another one of these scary shark chomping sections, followed by one of the most bizarre cutscene to credits transitions I've ever seen. A truly abrupt way to end this whole thing.
Alrighty then. Smoking.
You know what? It wasn't that hard. It wasn't the worst thing ever. Don't get me wrong, I am relieved it's over. But just from all the hype, I don't know, I kind of expected worse.
I'm done! You hear me?